All right, let's do this. Merry Christmas. It's not Christmas just yet, but very soon.
True, true.
And today we are tasting coffees with friends and the husband of an ex-colleague.
That's right. She got me into this whole, what do you call it, industry?
Yes. What's your name?
Joar is my name.
Joar is the name.
Yeah.
And the reason why we invited you is because we know that you went from non-coffee person,
instant coffee person,
to becoming a complete coffee geek.
Yes, love coffee geeking.
Yes. How do you brew your coffee at home?
I use Aeropress.
Yeah.
I have a Aeropress and what is it called, a knock grinder?
Yeah.
And a scale.
So hand grinder.
Hand grinder, yeah. So that's my equipment and just regular boiling water.
Yeah, and good coffee.
Of course, my wife is your ex-colleague, but we still sometimes score some coffee from you, and we actually still spend some money in your store.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Some fun facts. I heard rumors that you beat one of our baristas in the Aeropress competition.
Yes, I was feeling a little bad for her actually, because she was like picking out the little
the defects,
and like very carefully monitoring her coffee, and then I was just kind of a beginner, but I really did put a lot of effort into this competition. I did a lot of tasting in my own kitchen. And I really tried to. See,
amateurs have time to do that.
Yeah.
We professionals, we don't have time to do that. We just brew and serve.
Yeah.
But it just shows that it's not rocket science to make good coffee. You don't have to know a whole lot about coffee in order to make good coffee. You need, a clean brewing device.
Yeah.
It could be an Aeropress or just a filter brewer. It's even easier. You need a grinder, of course. You need clean, good water, which we have plentiful of here in Oslo, and you need really good coffee.
Yes.
Because if you put shit in, you're gonna get shit out. So don't buy bad coffee, buy good coffee.
Yep. Grinder was actually the first thing I replaced, because I used to have like a cheap 99 kroner grinder.
One of those, yeah.
One of those, you hold down the button and it spins around.
Yeah.
And I was like perplexed by the fact that we have the same coffee as you do at Tim Elbow bar, and then still tastes so different. I followed their recipe, but it's not the same.
Yeah, no, you need a grinder that properly grinds the coffee. That's very important. Okay, we can talk about your brewing techniques all day.
Yeah.
But we're not going to. We're actually here to taste 3 coffees that we're going to send out for all our subscribers. And since it's very soon to become Christmas holidays, we're going to send out our Christmas specials. So starting with an Ethiopian coffee.
Oh, favorite country.
Is from a small farm in Goma, a couple of hours drive from Jimma in West Ethiopia. It's a farm owned by a guy called Khalid Sifa. He kind of works there with his brother, but he inherited the farm from his grandfather. And then, of course, the father took over, and now he's the 3rd generation. These coffee trees are very, very special. They're tall. Like normally a coffee tree would be your height, and you pick from the branches on the top. Maybe it'll be like this high. But these trees are planted by his grandfather, and they have basically done very little to them ever since. So they're like super tall. Like you will walk in a forest where you just see these kind of big trunks next to you, and they're all coffee trees.
But is the size of the berries about the same, or?
The size of the berries are the same. And the seeds for these trees were picked out of Koche forest, which is very close to the farm. So it's basically used to be wild coffee, but that is now cultivated on this farm. And this coffee is honey processed, but you can't really taste too much of the process. So they remove the skin and a lot of the mucilage. It's not a very typical Ethiopian coffee. Typical meaning that most of the Ethiopian coffees that traditionally has found their ways to at least Europe are from the south of Ethiopia, like Yirgacheffe, Sidama region, Guji, all these kind of places. They're typically very citric, very floral. This is from West Ethiopia and very, very different. Let's taste it. See what you think.
Yeah, you're making me so curious.
Good slurp.
Yeah. So this is the challenge I have with coffee now.
Describing
yeah. But yeah, no, it's hard.
It's hard.
Give me some hints. So.
This coffee is not so in your face either. It's a little subtle. So for me at least, the aftertaste that I have now is mint. Like, but it's not the kind of mint that when you eat chewing gum, it's the kind of mint that is kind of integrated into other stuff. It also, for me, has a little bit of this kind of honey flavors. And also, when you think about like Christmas cookies, they're kind of the baking spices used in that, like cardamom, cinnamon, these kind of, but I can't really pinpoint which one it is. It's just like a
mash,
allspice mix or whatever you can call it. But it's also a little fruity.
Yeah, like I don't have word. It has a distinct taste,
yeah,
for sure. But yeah, that's between salt and bitter is as close as I can place it. But it's not. Those aren't good words. That doesn't sound good. But
I'll make it easier for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So first coffee, just to sum up, first coffee is from Ethiopia, from a farm called Echemo. It's from Goma in Ethiopia, very close to Agaro and very close to Jimma. That will go out to all our One Bag subscribers. And a very good contrast to taste it against.
Oh.
So it makes it easier for you to taste the coffees. Is coffee number 2.
Oh.
Now they have some similarities in the terms of they're both quite fruity. I'll top you up here as well.
Thanks.
The first one is kind of more maybe tea-like. The second one is a little bit more intense. It's a coffee from El Salvador. It's a Pacamara variety from the famous Gilberto Barahona. And it's also a honey processed. And it's also one of our Christmas specials. Shall we taste?
Let's taste. Oh, that was different, yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Once again, it's hard.
Hard?
But
chocolatey.
Yeah.
Like think of drinking kind of hot chocolate, but there's some kind of fruit into it, if you know what I mean. Now let's go back to the first one. Makes it easier.
Yeah, now it tastes different again.
Yeah, a little bit more perfumey, fruity. It has this kind of minty flavor as well. And you can go back to the second one. Here you can taste this kind of slightly red fruit, like warm strawberries, mango maybe. That's because
I was actually going to say mango.
Great.
Nice.
That's because of the process. The honey process gives you a little bit of this kind of pulpy flavor, we call it. And it's just a flavor of a fermentation that goes on because there's mucilage stuck on the beans while it's drying.
Okay.
The first one doesn't have too much of that, so you can't really taste that it's honey processed. So first coffee, Ethiopian. Second coffee from Los Pirineos, the famous multi-award winning farmer Gilberto Barahona. This is one of his famous Pacamara varieties. We didn't have a lot of this coffee, but enough to kind of make it a Christmas special and enough to send out to subscribers. So the third coffee, also a very rare coffee for us, is from Mexico. And this is a Bourbon variety from an indigenous farmer in Chiapas that Jesus Salazar, a good friend of ours, has helped us source in Mexico. Jesus has a little coffee shop and roastery in Mexico, in Chiapas, in San Cristobal de las Casas. And he's kind of working with a group of farmers, and then he allows, some export. Like he sells a little bit of green coffee to us and to a couple of companies in the US and so on. Very different coffee. Yeah, let's just taste it.
Yeah, let's do it. This one reminds me more of Christmas.
Yeah, wow.
What's it called? The thing you stick into an orange.
Oh, the cloves.
Cloves.
Yeah, wow. Cool.
Is that?
That's definitely a descriptor you can use.
Can I use that descriptor on this coffee? That's cool. I feel very pro using descriptors, but I'm not sure.
This is a washed coffee. So if you compare it to the second one, especially the mouthfeel, the third one feels a little bit cleaner. Just feels more slick on the tongue. I get some raisins. It's definitely very chocolatey, not so high acidity, and very rich and kind of powerful coffee. See what I mean?
Yeah, like the feeling on the as it slips through your tongue.
Yeah. Let's go back to the first one just to. Something with Ethiopian coffees that are just. I guess you can say that it's complex because every time I taste it, I taste something slightly different.
Is this? Do you think that's because we are affected by so much by the other coffees here?
Yeah. So always when I try to teach people how to taste coffee, it's a very good idea to not just taste one coffee at a time, but at least taste two. But preferably not from the same farm or from the same country, unless they're very different. So you need to kind of find some contrast. Makes it much easier to taste the difference. And I recommend doing this with beer, wine, cheese, apples.
Anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to describe taste, it's always a good idea to taste two things side by side. And the only thing you're not allowed to say here is coffee. Like, what does it taste like? You can say, it tastes like coffee. Yeah, for sure, it's coffee. But try to use other words to describe it. And the kind of beginning stage is normally, oh, this is more acidic than that one. This has more kind of big, thicker mouthfeel than the other one. Think of like whole milk and skim milk. They have different mouthfeels. One is more sweet than the other. One is more bitter than the other. And then you can move on from there to like all of a sudden maybe if we tasted a Kenyan coffee, I would say like, oh wow, this tastes, like raisins or red fruits.
How would you like say? You mentioned like the whole milk and the skimmed milk has different mouthfeels. Like what words would you use to describe that?
So whole milk for me would be rich.
Rich. Okay. Yeah.
Big body, maybe you can say. And that's a common word that people use in coffee. And
the opposite is
slick, smooth. These kind of things. Skim milk for me would be watery, thin. You could also get, I guess, say slim or more elegant, depending, because it's also related to whatever else you taste. So, having a heavy mouthfeel is not always positive. It can also be negative.
Well, I thought it was positive in this setting, but there certainly are more full-bodied than the one I make at home. I'm not sure because this is because of the temperature we drink it at. Like right now it has cooled down. Yeah. So maybe that makes it feel more...
It's normally easier to pick out flavors when it's like body temperature-ish, a little bit hotter, like 40 to 50 degrees. Yeah. And also with the grinder I'm using, which is grinding very evenly, I'm able to extract much more. So you get a more kind of sweetness and richness to the coffee without having bitterness. With a hand grinder, you will still get a lot of these slightly bigger particles. That makes the extraction not so great when it's high, because you're basically not extracting the big particles, and extracting a lot of small particles. So grinders are very important.
They are. I thought mine was like a good quality one.
It is, for sure, but
but it's not the same as the machine you got standing back here.
It's not.
Okay, fine.
But I brewed this on the Aeropress, and I used our normal measurement, like 70 grams per liter, so 14 grams coffee, 200 grams of water, and basically left it for about a minute, stirred a little bit, and then pressed. So it's not a very kind of complicated recipe, but it makes the coffee stand out quite, a lot. And which one was your favorite?
Now I gotta taste again.
Yeah, let's do a last one.
Different ones are coming out again.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think maybe the
Mexican?
third one. Yeah, the Mexican.
It's really good.
It's pretty good, yeah. They're all good, but...
they're quite different as well. So I think, for me, it's hard for me to pick one because I would drink them.
And also, since you did mention the Christmas, and I got the cloves as one of my...
So Mexican it is?
Let's go for Mexican. I think that's my favorite Christmas coffee from Tim.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for letting me be here with the coffee legend himself.
We are actually sending out more and more unique coffees in our subscription because I kind of like it. It's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of subscribers now who are, like you, getting very much into coffee and like to taste very much different things. So if you want to subscribe, you can go to our website, and we have 1, 2, or 3 bags, and you can decide to have a recurring one that never stops until you stop it. Or and it's a monthly subscription, or you can buy a gift or like a limited one where you say, okay, I only want for 3 months and X amount of bags. We have for filter and espresso. We just tasted filters coffees today, but the espresso subscribers will get the same coffees this time as well. Just roasted slightly longer, just to reduce the acidity a little bit. Cool. Well, all that is left is to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thanks for following us this year, and I hope to see you next year. Ciao.
Ciao.
Er det lyd på nå?
Skal vi se, min er helt tom. Nei da.